Hello. Welcome the external world to our MCP election of Isaac in Germany 24-25. Woo! Okay, welcome everybody who is joining us online. We are about to start our MCP election for the next MCP of Isaac in Germany for the year 24-25. We're very excited to also see you here joining us online. So as an alignment, we will have the candidates joining soon with their opening speeches, and we will have technical support. So if there's anything up with the technical things, you can just write it and we will see how we can fix it as fast as possible. And now we have another minute left. Are there any questions? Anything left to discuss? This does not seem to be the case. Cool. Then we can wait for 1 minute.
No, I don't want to wait.
Great. Cool. Then I think with this, we're very close to starting. And I see where we have things. Wow. Amazing. You ready to start? All right, so we are about to start. Yes, you can start already. Please remember what we practice. And with this, please give it up for your first candidate of the candidate election 24-25, Leah!
Okay. Hello, everyone. Wow, you look amazing. Thank you so much for being here to select the next MCP for Isaac in Germany. Me standing here in front of you means that I'm one of the candidates. And I will dedicate the next few minutes to tell you a bit more about myself, to tell you what drives me to apply for this position, and also share with you which overall direction this entity would take if you were to elect me today. So, what do you need to know about me? My name is Leah. I'm 24 years old, and I was born and raised an only child in a small village close to Hanover. I then moved to Göttingen to study political science and social and economic history. My main values in life are integrity, reliability, and fairness. What I want to do in my life at the moment is to travel every continent, to see the Northern Lights, to speak 5 languages fluently, to live more environmentally conscious, and to not let my fears hold me back from what I want to do. With my life, I want to contribute to a more just world, and gender equality is a topic that's especially dear to me in this regard. That's me in a nutshell. So, you might be wondering how my personal or family history connects to why I am applying for MCP today. And I need to tell you, it doesn't. I don't have anything in my family history that connects me to what Isaac does in any particular way. Like, for example, Chris Ulot, who was sharing with us at the Y2B how his grandparents were hiding Jews in their barn during the Second World War from the Nazis, and how this drives him to contribute to cross-cultural understanding. I didn't make any experiences in my adolescence that explain why I'm so invested in Isaac, like Johnny, who was moving all of us in his election last year when he was sharing the story of how a classmate got abducted in Cameroon, how newspapers were writing that nothing else can be expected from traveling to Africa anyways, but how this also merely mirrored conversations he heard whilst growing up in rural Germany. I don't have any connection like this. What I do have is over 4 years in this organization. 4 years that have shown me the potential of ISEC to develop leadership, just like me. And what I have is the dedication and love for this organization. And this is what I want to also talk with you about in the next few minutes. But I need to tell you also, the relationship with ISEC and me wasn't love at first sight. In fact, we got off to a bit of a rocky start. As probably most of you know, I joined ISEC after my GV in Costa Rica. But probably not so many of you know that on the GV, I had a personal fallout with the other volunteer from Göttingen. And my EP manager knew that she could only recruit one of us to join ISEC in Göttingen. Because I was quite unresponsive during my time, and she knew only about everything that was going wrong from texting with the other volunteer, she thought that I was super pissed, and she wouldn't even need to bother asking me if I wanted to join the LC. Nonetheless, when I returned, we met for my returnee talk. And I can only imagine how uncomfortable that must have felt for her to go into this conversation with someone that she thought would give her a really hard time. And I'm so glad that she did. I'm so glad that she didn't check it out in that moment, but met with me, because if she hadn't, I would literally not be standing here. Because it was in that conversation that I surprised her with my overall positive feedback and how very much at peace I was with everything that had happened. And despite having made different arrangements with the LCP prior, she decided in that moment to ask me if I wanted to join the LC. And I said yes. I said yes because I thought ISEC would look good on my CV. It's true. My very basic reason to join ISEC was very egoistic, and it continued to be like this. I didn't go to my first conference, which happened a couple of weeks after our ELCECO, still in the first month of me being a member. I didn't go because I didn't feel like investing another weekend into an organization that I had just joined. At that point, I just didn't see the value of the membership experience for me yet. Next change? Yeah, membership. Maybe. So I think it came quite as a surprise to everyone when I decided to apply for EB. And in fact, the former VPTM, she would have rather not seen me apply. She actively tried talking me out of it due to my intentions to go on an internship abroad in summer. But for me, it was actually the decision, either apply for EB and see if there's anything left in this membership experience that I can get out so that I wouldn't feel like wasting my time, or quit ISEC. And in the ELCE, there was literally no one else that could do it. The ELCE was basically empty. And that made me feel like I could save the day. And that sounded tempting. So I got selected, and I got the position of VP OGV. And I hated it. Because up to the point, I haven't made one approval. My first approval didn't happen until Christmas, so like 1 or 2 months after I was selected. So I was seriously doubting if I could even do it. And how would I get to save the day if I'm a VP OGV that doesn't know how to approve? Yet, was I doubting enough to join Winterco and catch up on the knowledge that I was obviously lacking? No, I didn't want to go. I think it wasn't until after Plavis that something sparked in me. Plavis that, of course, in the beginning, I only agreed to joining with rolling eyes because it was yet another weekend to spend. But after Plavis, I kind of had a goal. I had a plan how to get there. And 2 weeks before, I had my first approval, so I knew that somehow maybe I could manage. So I started investing a little bit more into finding out how I can do my job better. Our results in February skyrocketed. And the more I was achieving, the more I was passionate to put more in and grow more. And I really think that this small spark was already enough to kickstart this crazy growth that ISEC in Göttingen was seeing in February 2020. And at that point, I then joined my first national conference, NATCO 2020. And on that conference, I had my first SM session. Like not completely first SM session, because we did have one already in the ELSICO. That happened a couple of weeks after I joined. And yeah, in the SM sessions, we were watching this year recap videos, also like the one that we saw in the MCP opening just now. And then we were having conversations on how ISAC can prevent such bad from happening again. And in the ELSICO, I was 1 out of 5 people sitting in this room. And I remember thinking, that's cute, cute dream. But on that NATCO, we were 300 people. The energy was crazy. People were taking notes, people were crying, people were sharing the experience that they had already made to prove that this is possible. And I remember in this moment, I stopped doubting. I stopped doubting that ISAC can be relevant for people. I stopped doubting that if we work together, we can have an impact. And I stopped doubting that what I do actually mattered for anyone else but myself. My last walls came down, and I saw who I wanted to be in that person in front of the stage that was making the people take notes, making people cry, and most importantly, making all of us believe that we have the potential and the responsibility to contribute to peace and fulfillment of humankind's potential. So, this is why I'm applying for MCP. I have 4 years in this organization. 4 years that have shown me the potential that ISAC has in developing people that, or maybe especially those, don't even know that they need it. And the 4 years have shown me that I can be the right person to bring ISAC in Germany a step closer towards fulfilling its potential. Now, in the beginning, I also said that I will share with you the overall direction this entity would take if you were to elect me today. To give the child a name, I am not advocating to do more exchanges for the sake of doing more exchanges, for the sake of growth, for the sake of sustainability, or the sake of getting to know different cultures. Don't get me wrong. All of these aspects are super important for our organization. But in the ISAC that I see for the next year, we share one common understanding. That is that every experience in ISAC is supposed to be a challenge for people to develop leadership skills. And these skills are what is going to contribute to a better world long after the experience is over. Now, you might be asking, how do we get to have these challenges? First of all, we need more members. We need more people in ISAC that want to be here, that want to engage in any way, and we shouldn't care about their initial motivation to join. We shouldn't care if they are here because it's good on their CV or because they are dedicated to end racism. I'm super glad that no one cared about my initial motivation to join, because if they had, I would not be here, the product of all my capable, relentless, and imperfect team leaders that shaped me into the person that's standing here 4 years later, passionate to apply to the highest position in this entity. We need to have our VPs excited to be shaping 7, 8, 9 people into ISACers that are passionate to advocate for our exchange products, be it at info booths, lecture presentations, or dinner tables. Now, the key element of our member engagement is the exchanges that we are enabling. It is challenging, it can be inspirational, but it's for sure a unique opportunity for any young person to be responsible for another young person's development while they are far away from home. And that is why we need to do more exchanges. To be super clear, the purpose of all we do is to provide practical experience in challenging environments that are going to develop leadership. But exchange is the single best solution we have found in 70+ years to make this happen. Exchanges are the key for us to develop the skills that we need to see in the people. Exchanges are what drives Germany since over 70 years. and it needs to continue to do so for all of us to share a better tomorrow. That is what I want to promise to you as MCP. I want to ensure that we develop the leaders of tomorrow that do what is right over what is easy because they can. Thanks to Isaac. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. All right. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for giving all your attention to the first candidate. But as you know, we have a second candidate following directly after this. We will check if they're ready. Okay, they need some more time to get here from the room. It's a very long trip and a lot of strikes on the way. So we have some Verzögerung im Betriebsablauf. You can continue writing down questions that may have come up during the speech. Go through whatever is in your mind still, write it down, and then be ready completely to give all your attention and focus to our second candidate. All right. Okay, actually, based on the previous alignments, we have more time, yeah? We have 10 more minutes. So, we will only start at past with the next candidate. Even more time to write down your questions and think about what you want to ask them in the next steps. tell your EBs to join online, and then we can all say hello. All right. So our next candidate is on the way. So we will start already. The music will stop. This is for the live stream. This is for the protocol.
So, hello everyone. Welcome to my opening speech. Today I want to talk with you what I live, what I am living for, and what I want to see us living together in the next year. Before starting this, I want to introduce myself. I am Kezban Taş. I am 24 years old. I born in Sinop, Turkey. It is a beautiful city. I love to write poems. It actually help me to reflect with. I love swimming, and I quite interesting in politics. I am an Isaac'er, active Isaac'er, since 2018. And during this time, I had the 35 roles and had a chance work in the 4 different functions. I graduated from the teacher high school because I wanted to become math teacher. In the future, most probably you will see me as writer or taking part in the politics. But is it enough to know about me? It is not. I want to bring back to you 2006. This is the time that shaped me as a person. This is the time that taught me life becomes more meaningful when we live for something bigger than ourselves. This is the time that shaped the 7 years of my life. This is the time that my mom was ill during the 7 years. And she was feeling so strong headache, and she needs to sleep in the dark room. Even she cannot let the sun shine into the room because it affects the headache really badly. And I was the first class student in the primary school. I have 2 younger siblings than me. And during this time, I felt responsible for them. I decided to leave from the class, in the last class during the day, 20-30 minutes ago, to go to the home to prepare lunch for my siblings. Because I wanted to see that they are not affecting from what we are living right now. Because I wanted to see that they still feel the passion to continue even their schools. It taught me that when we take the responsibility, we should not be afraid to make the sacrifices. When I go to home to prepare the lunch, the first thing that I was doing to look at the window of my mom and to see that it is open or not. Because I was easily understand that if it is open, right now, the headache of my mom is all right. And meanwhile, we continue to search what was the real reason. What was the reason of the headache? And in the 2013, reason was found. Reason was the aneurysm in her mind. And she decided to have the brain surgery. It took 5 hours, and it was the longest 5 hours in my life. It also taught me that we should be brave enough to take responsibility, to embrace the challenges that we are living, it actually makes us grow. But why I am saying this to you? Because this story, the 7 years that shaped me as a person, shaped me who I am right now, make me the person more empathetic, make me the person more optimistic in the hard situations, in the difficult situations, to find the power to continue. This is how I am living my life since then. After that, my mom right now is healthy. And in the 2014, beforehand, I was focusing on my family because this was highest priority and responsibility that I was feeling. Then afterwards, I started to gain more awareness about what's going on in my country. I told you that I am originally coming from Turkey. And the things that happen in my country actually that shaping the future of our country. We had the coup attempt in the middle of the Istanbul because of the one person attacked the government middle of the night, and government invited everyone to the streets to defend the country. The inflation increasing day by day in the country. Imagine that this is the country, 50% of the people living with the minimum salary. How much effect it could create. The refugee crisis that we are having, I know, this is something that we are having in the whole world. To make you understand easier, in Germany, we have 2.5 million refugees living here. In Turkey, in this time, it's still increasing day by day. We have 4 million refugees living in my country. Also, the human rights of the women. I don't see that we have clear law in my country to save the rights of the women. I don't trust the government that following the laws that we are having. Also, the climate change, that how little people has awareness and how little people care about it. People was choosing to complain. People was choosing to only talk about the problems. But I was thinking that who will change it if everyone was complaining? I wanted to see the changes in the world. This make me the take step. This make me the take step and shape the future. In the 2018, this is the time that I joined Isaac. This is the first thing that I saw in my first local committee meeting. People was talking about peace. Peace was something bigger. Peace was something people call as impossible, but these people was trying to make it possible. Also, remember the learning that I got from my 7 years, life becomes more meaningful for something bigger when we live for something bigger than ourselves. It made me thought that the learning that I got from my childhood. Isaac doing this by believing that leadership is the fundamental solution. Because also look at the things that happen in my country. Sometimes it happens in the world because of the leaders making one of the decisions, it making the people go out from their country, their own country. Or maybe the leaders, each one of us, maybe not taking the action to do something, but choosing to complain. But Isaac was creating the leaders with the values that Isaac is shaping on them, because we believe that when we developed these values on the leaders, they became the ones who can give them better decisions to create the better future, to create the positive impact. This is the time I decided to stay in the organization. This is the time that I felt more passion to create the change and make a difference. Isaac is doing this with the practical experiences. Isaac is developed the leadership on the people with the exchanges, with the practical experiences that we are giving. remember that the challenges that I had makes me grow. The challenges makes this organization grow. I know, maybe Isaac will not bring peace to the world, but I am sure Isaac is creating leaders who could bring peace to the world. That's what I am feeling. I am feeling determined to make a change. I am feeling to take the step to the things that I want to see should change in the world. I sent more than 200 people to abroad. I hosted more than 400 people in my city. I created a project with the refugees' children while everyone was only complaining about them. I presented Isaac vision and mission in my hometown because there was no Isaac there. Because it doesn't matter, because I was believed that Isaac is something that everyone should know about it. I became a leader who inspires people to do more exchange. I became a leader who creates the more leaders. Because with the 6-year experience that I got in Isaac, the most impactful thing that I realized, exchange cannot be possible without leadership. Leadership cannot be possible without exchange. We cannot only talk about the leadership without talking about exchange. We cannot only talk about the exchange without talking about leadership in this organization. But in the current state, currently in our entity in the 2024, we are not having minimum 1 exchange per member in our entity. How can we make sure that we are creating the leaders who will shape the future as the better place? I don't accept this. I want to see that our entity not accepting this. I want to see that we can only create our entity believes that we can only create the leaders when we create the exchange opportunities. I want to see future in Isaac in Germany that each one of the members in our organization fully living their experience. I want to see that we feel determination to make a change. We are having the accountability towards our goals. I want to create the more exchanges because we know what exchange contributes for. I want to see that Isaac is the first choice when it comes to youth organizations in Germany. I know these are the things, maybe it seems impossible, but everything seems impossible until it is done. And I am determined to achieve this future with you. I am Kezban Taş. I am your proud MCP candidate of Isaac in Germany for the term 24-25. Sorry.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much again for giving your full attention to also our second candidate that we had today. These were the 2 opening speeches. We will now take a short break, and afterwards we will continue with the strategy speeches. The strategy speeches, after they're done, you have 20 minutes to ask questions to the candidates. There's always 2 minutes for each question. The candidate can choose how to use these 2 minutes, so they can decide whether they want to take 2 minutes of this just thinking, or if they want to take 30 seconds thinking and 1.5 minutes answering for you. And afterwards, we will go to ask the next question. We also want to explain to you the process, and I think Fernanda can do this, on how the whole process will work, asking the questions, if you have the questions directed to the candidates.
Thank you. Okay. Maybe just very shortly, until when will we do the break? considering we have to do another roll call, which is a bit bigger again.
Let's back here at let's have an orbit. So 11.
Okay, so 11:15, we come back to do the roll call again. Just shortly, please listen. We will do again everything with the red ballots and so on. We just noticed we did a small mistake. If you don't have voting right, you don't get a red thing because you all right, Mike? Yeah, smart. So if you don't have voting right, you don't get it. Because you don't have also speaking right. So we will call you again and we will not give you a ballot because then if not, we will lose the overview and everyone can just raise it, but you don't have speaking right. Smart, yes. Okay, so we will do it again. How it will work, as Insa already mentioned, we will have our candidates here. They will present the speech. Then you will get to ask questions. So I will ask you to raise your ballot as high as you can so that I'm small, okay? I will be sitting so that I can see you. And then we will be calling you when you're able to do your question. The first question always goes to the MCP current. So Johnny will start. And yeah, we will take note. Already said 2 minutes for questions. If the time is over and you're still in the question list, you cannot ask your question anymore. Sorry for that. But you can ask it maybe in your cluster rounds if it's very important for you. Clear? Yes? Yes. So, if you were not in the last ordentliche Mitgliederversammlung, which was NPM, and you didn't delegate your vote, you lost your vote for this OMV. Yes, because you don't have a vote and you don't have your speaking right. So you lost your rights for this MV. Yes, if you really want to ask something, then for example, you can say it to Jesse, and then Jesse can be like, I want to give speaking rights to Leipzig. And then if I agree, which probably will, then you can get to speak. Clear? Okay, then break until 11:15.